Hey everyone, today we'll be talking about the blue cure of the Yes 5 teen Karen Minazuki, aka Cure Aqua. So let's get into it's like always, like the information comes from the Pretty Cure wiki fandom, and also one other thing, don't say in the comments that Minazuki is you know what I mean, because she is a good Karen and she is one of my baby blue, because I like blue cures and blue in general, and Cure Aqua kick the evil Karen's butts. Ah! Okay, now on with the video. Bye! Karen Minazuki is one of the 5 main cures in Yes Percure 5 and Yes Percure 5 Go-Go. She is a third-year student at Lacoste des Luminaires. And she's also the student council president and in the same class as Kamachi Akamoto. Her alter ego is Cure Aqua, and she is known as the Pretty Cure of Intelligence. Karen Minazuki comes from the 4th and 5th season of Pretty Cure, Yes Pretty Cure 5 and Yes Pretty Cure 5 Go-Go. She made her debut in episode 1 as herself and in episode 6 as Cure Aqua for the first time. Minazuki is 15 years old in Yes 5 and 16 years old in Go-Go. She is the only daughter of the Mizuki family. Her relatives are Minako Mizuki, her mother, and Taro Minazuki, her father. Her role is that of Pretty Cure, and her alter ego is Cure Aqua. Her theme is intelligence, and her theme color is blue. She has the power over water. Her henshin phrase is Pretty Cure Metamorphosis. Henshin items are the Pretty Cure Catch in Yes 5 and the Cure Mo in Go-Go. Her weapon are the Aqua Ribbon in Yes 5 and the Tornado Floret in Go-Go. Minazuki has 4 voice actors, which are Imaneda in Japanese, Michelle Palladie in Italian, Luli Britti in Albanian, and Myung Sung Lee in Korean. Minazuki has 2 image songs, those being Heavenly Blue and Surely I'll Be Alright. Karen has dark blue eyes with thick eyebrows. Her matching colored hair is worn loose with some strands over her left shoulder, and her bangs brushed to the left. In Go-Go, her casual outfit is a bluish-gray top and skirt with a bow on the back, and navy heels. In Yes Pretty Cure 5 Go-Go 5, Kamino no Kuni Miracle Daibogen, Karen wore a light purple jacket with fluffy trim over a dark teal outfit with light gray boots. As Cure Aqua, her eyes and her hair turn bright blue, with her hair growing out into a standard ponytail, held with a blue butterfly adorned by a red gem. She also gains blue butterfly earrings. Her outfit is styled like Cure Mint's, a white miniskirt dress with a blue lining and a bow around the waist, and a pale yellow stripes circling the off-shoulder sleeves. These are trimmed with pale blue ruffles to match the secondary skirt layer, and one that chest in the butterfly, but this one is a pale yellow. She also gains dark blue shorts with blue boots with a butterfly, and gloves that match her dress, with a light blue butterfly on the hand and her pinky catch worn on her wrist. As Super Cure Aqua, the ruffles on her sleeves and boots grow longer while her skirt gains an extra layer, and she also has large butterfly wings. In Go-Go, her earrings and shorts remains the same, while her hair butterfly loosens its stem in the favor of a magenta flower. Her gloves and her boots change in style along with her chest butterfly, which connects to her Kermo. Her dress loosens into an outer layer in favor of a pastel blue vest, Lined in blue, ascending the new stripes of her full sleeves, the ruffles have become pale chiffon. As Cure Rainbow Aqua, her outfit is similar to Shining Dreams. She has a pale pink rose on her chest and her hair ornament and small gold wings. Karen is strongly admired for being calm and stoic, a mature young woman who has become a cover-up for insecurities and feeling of loneliness. She dearly misses her parents as they are usually away, but out of obligation and feeling that everything rests on her shoulders, she refuses to let it get to her. She has come to think she needs to do everything by herself. She was usually very enthusiastic about being class representative prior to meeting Komachi, but by the time it began wearing her down, she was forced to keep going to be there for her. Because of her position, Karen is able to memorize all the names and faces of all the Lacrosse Lumiere students, and also easily takes responsibility when something happens to the school, as seen in the second episode where she wants Nozomi to explain what happened into the library yesterday. While usually calm and temperamental, when she's pushed enough, she can sometimes get to the point where she ends up saying hurtful or offensive things to other people, shown in episode 23 when she called Komachi naive and insignificant, even though she wasn't involved in the issue that upset her. In episodes 5 and 6, Karen acted though her time with Percure had been made up a story, but their company she had a lot of fun. When she meets Coco, she was quiet, stunned, and scared after they were attacked. She wanted to help her friends after they got hurt, but with the blue butterfly disappeared, she was shocked and held a lot of grief and depression. But encouraged by Nozomi and stunned by her hopes and friendship, she was happy and dealt with it the best they could. Finally, she became a Percure at the end of episode 6, and the more she spends time with the teammates, the more she has fun with them. In episode 29, Gia was happy to see her making jokes, glad to see she's begun to open up. Her parents are musicians and often go on tour. As such, Karen has been mostly raised by her butler. She misses her mother and father, but will not ask for them to come home for fear of disturbing their work. So despite wealth and popularity, she is often lonely. Karen's best friend, along with fellow student council members or library aide in episode 28, it is explained that the two met when they were in their first year of middle school and were performing a class project, which Karen, who was simply class representative back then, was about to give up. Komachi, however, inspired her to keep going, and the two succeeded, becoming best friends afterwards. They remained inseparable and often lent on each other to cheer up one another. Karen has a close, loving, and protective relationship with her. Milk admires Karen for her mature and graceful nature. Karen's relationship with her is similar to those between Nozomi and Coco, Komachi and Nuts, and Urao and Syrup. At first, Rin wanted nothing to do with Karen, and the feeling was mutual. Their personalities, along with their colors and elements, were seen to be as different as night and day, and due to this, they often bicker. However, after growing to understand each other and realize they share things in common as well, they grew closer. Her last name, Minazuki, is the ancient Japanese term for June. A rainy month in Asia, Mi also translates to water, obviously referring to her water-based powers as Cure Aqua. Her first name, Karen, can be both a Japanese and an English name. The most common and likely inherited in Japanese meaning is lovely, while there are many other ways to be written in kanji. As an English name, the origin of Greek is pure. Putting her name together could mean this: June's fluffiness, or June's purity. As Cure Aqua, her name indicates her powers over water, as aqua is Latin for water. Aqua is also the color which lies exactly between blue and green. As a child, Karen always misted her parents when they were away. Even though she pretended not to, this worried her butler, Sakamoto. In episode 20, it's revealed how Karen and Komichi began their friendship when she was older and was in school. She was the class representative, full of enthusiasm starting it. One day, she got a call from a factory that her class was going to have to cancel the tour because of one of the machines broke down. She and the class were disappointed about it until the quiet Komachi then rose up and encouraged Karen that they still can't give up until the end, and volunteered to help Karen find another factory to do the project. Though many rejections, they finally made a reservation, did the brooches and completed it. That is the story of how she became friends with Akamoto Komachi. Possibly sometime when elected as student president, she became more focused on her position and more responsible, losing her enthusiasm. But some brought back when becoming a pretty cure, and because of her job and having to be it alone, it causes her to believe that she has to do everything to do right and nothing else. One day after school, Karen was in the school library with Komachi when they were interrupted by Nozomi Yumihara. Nozomi insisted that someone was entered the library without either of them noticing, which was clearly impossible. A few minutes after she wandered off to look for her imaginary friend, Karen and Komachi heard strange noises. Investigating, they found damage to the floor and shelves in one part of the library, which no one obviously origin. Stranger still, the damage mysteriously repaired itself when they left briefly. From the point on, Karen and Komachi tried to talk to Nozomi in order to find out what happened, as a junior was most likely involved. During these investigations, Karen realized that Nozomi and her best friend Minazuki had become friends with a new student named Uwara Kasagono. Even though they had nothing in common, Komachi became involved as well after the three girls told them some ridiculous story about Percure. Despite her efforts, the four invited themselves over to Karen's house to try and convince her of the story. However, in the middle of the conversation explanation involving Coco, a living fluffy animal, the girls were suddenly attacked by Bumby, who stole another Pinky and turned Karen's gazebo into a koala. Karen ran and hid, but it became clear that the others did not stand a chance unless she was able to transform herself. A blue butterfly flew out and landed on her wrist, but immediately disappeared, leaving Karen to watch helplessly as Bumby escaped with the Pinky he had captured. Karen admitted that the Nozomi and the others had been telling her the truth, but said she could not help them. Nozomi, however, was incredibly stubborn and annoying about it, and just would not get the message, even getting Jiraiya to tell her things for some reason. Frustrated, Karen stormed off, but Nozomi followed and told Karen that what they had in common was their love for their parents. Karen was shocked by the idea that Nozomi actually understood her, and agreed that, Percure aside, they could be friends. Then Bumby attacked again and turned the Pinky before her into a kawaii. Things went badly once more, but Karen was determined to help the others and declared as much. The blue butterfly returned, and the time giving Karen the ability to transform. In her decision, the girls saved the Pinky and defeated Bumby. Once gathered, the 5 cures were able to rescue Coco's friend, Nuts, from the Dream Collect. Nuts raised the question of who was the leader of Percure, and while Nozomi suggested Karen, Karen hastily turned down the position and nominated Nozomi herself, a suggestion immediately opposed by the others. After Nuts started leaving the small storehouse that Karen was certain was too small for the purpose, Karen brought a housewarming gift, a small plot of blue Chinese bellflowers from the greenhouse her family owns. This, however, led to a conflict with Wen, who was also bringing in a pot of bright red tulips. Everything by being forced to fight Aqua together, they learned to get along, or at least get along better. Karen, the serious council president, almost immediately began to get in the way of more free-spirited Nozomi's ideas. First, she shot down Nozomi's plan to advise Nuts accessories by bringing them to the school, pointing out that this was against school rules. Not much later, understandably unimpressed by Nozomi's poor grades and study habits, she tried to force the Percure leader to study, but eventually relented in favor of setting more gradual goals. There was apparently no hard feelings. However, as Nozomi and the others were more than willing to help Karen solve the various student organizations' budget problems when the chairwoman refused to give them any more money. As Cure Aqua, meanwhile, Karen made the habit of rescuing Mika Masuka when she was in danger. Mika, meanwhile, interviewed Karen for the Quest Lumiere's news, and unflattering results. When a new fairy from Primary Kingdom Milk comes into picture, Nozomi accidentally destroys the butterfly decorations the others had been working on, and Karen joined Rin in lamenting her about her carelessness in calling Kamachi wishy-washy over her attempt to not take sides. She immediately tried to take back her words, but they continued to bother Kamachi until the following afternoon, when Karen's attempt at the apology was interrupted by the attack by the insane, powered-up Garima. Cure Aqua and Cure Mint were almost defeated. Immediately then caught by Corina, Cure Aqua was forced into a nightmare in which an illusion of herself as Karen lectured her about her necessity to remain distant from others, resulting in her lack of focus to her close friends and ultimately being alone. Cure Aqua was easily placed under control of a mask of despair. The controls Cure Aqua completely ignored Nozomi's attempts to remove the mask and helped to restrain her after she transformed into Cure Dream. Along with the other cures, Cure Aqua was eventually restored to her normal self by Cure Dream's efforts at reaching out to them. There is no information on Karen and Go-Go, so I will leave her history there. The Blue Spring of Intelligence, Cure Aqua. Cure Aqua is the Percure alter ego of Karen. In other transformations, she needs to use the Pinky Catch in the first season, which controls her power of water. In the second season, she needs the Cure Mold to transform. Her main attack is Sapphire Arrow. Minazuki as Super Cure Aqua. Super Cure Aqua is the upgrade Aqua gets when she receives it in Yes Percure 5 Kami no Kuni no Miracle Daibyogen. Thanks to the Miracle Lights, her powers are greatly increased. She can also fly because of her butterfly wings. Her outfit has an extra row of frills of her sleeves and dress. Her arm warmers are no longer, and her boots are both wider. Minazuki as Cure Rainbow Aqua. Her Cure Rainbow Aqua is an upgrade Aqua gets when she in Percure All-Stars DX2, Company no Hikari, Rainbow Julie no More. Together with the other upgrades of the group of 17 girls from the group Cure Rainbow, the upgraded outfit really resembles that of Shining Dream from Yes Percure 5 Go-Go, Okina no Kuni no Happy Birthday, except with the blue color instead of pink and a pair of small golden wings instead of grand white ones. Percure metamorphosis is the official transformation phrase Karen uses to transform into Cure Aqua in Yes Percure 5 and Yes Percure 5 Go-Go. In Yes Percure 5, Karen's pinky chest opens and she shouts out Percure. She circles a motion around with her arms and says metamorphosis. Her body is covered in a blue glow. Her top and brooch appear first, followed by her arm warmers, skirt, and shoes. Her hair gets styled, her pinky catch closes, and Cure Aqua recants her introductory speech. In Yes Percure 5 Go-Go, Karen's Cure Mode opens up and the phrases into the buttons, and she says, Percure metamorphosis. The Cure Mode screen glows, and her body gets surrounded in blue light. A blue tunnel then appears with a light showing at the end. Karen appears with her body glowing blue and surrounded by a stream of water. She becomes encased in the globe of water and it bursts. Karen is fully clothed. Cure Aqua then flies down, opening her eyes and recanting her introductory speech. Aqua's stream is her first attack in Yes Percure 5 and requires her pinky catch. She first performed it in episode 6. It soon becomes Aqua Tornado, which is the upgraded version of Aqua's stream that requires the Aqua Ribbon and can also be used to create a sword. She first performed it in Yes Percure 5 episode 28. 5 Explosion is a group attack she performs with their teammates Dream, Rouge, Lemonade, and Mint in Yes Percure 5. To perform it, they need the Symphony set and the Milk's willpower to be at its peak. Sapphire Arrow is her only solo attack in Yes Percure 5 Go-Go that she has used in episode 5. Rainbow Rose Explosion is also a group attack she performs with her teammates Dream, Rouge, Lemonade, and Mint in Yes Percure 5 Go-Go and first performed it in episode 24. To perform it, they needed the Cure Florets. Flora Explosion is the final group attack she performed with Dream, Rouge, Lemonade, and Mint, and Rose. It is required to Cure Florets in Milky's Mirror. Fact 1. In the Percure All-Star Sweet Flower card collection, Karen is represented by the iris, which symbolizes love and sympathy in the language of flowers. Fact 2. Cure Aqua is so far the only cure with a Latin name. Fact 3. Coincidentally, Karen and Kamachi's voice actors share the same name I. Fact 4. She is also the only cure who did not receive a name in the English adaptations. And now we come to the end of Karen Minazuki's information, and Karen can finally take the gun off my head so I can stop making the you know what I'm talking about. And just to be clear, please do not make jokes about Karen with you know what, because she just might have to speak to your manager. You makes your comments, aka you still alive.